You're standing at the gate. The fluorescent airport clock blinks 45 minutes to departure. You tap your boarding pass on your phone, and the gate screen shows a different code and sometimes a different airline logo, a tiny line that says operated by or Codeshare. Your stomach tightens because you booked with one airline, but the screen says another, and the boarding announcement is in the voice of a crew you don't recognize. The terminal smells like coffee and jet fuel. The PA repeats gate numbers, and all you can think is, did my booking break? Did I miss something?
If your flight happens to be canceled or delayed, Codeshare will help you get compensation for the inconvenience and get your money back without wasting time on red tape. Get a refund for your canceled flight right.
Will my bags be okay? Let me walk you through exactly what's happening, what to check before you leave home, and what to do at the airport so this surprise costs you nothing more than an eyebrow raise. I'll speak plainly. Codeshares are not an error. They're a marketing arrangement, but they can change baggage rules, check-in counters, and who shows up at the gate. I've flown this route more times than I can count, and I've fixed the same panic dozens of times, calmly, in a few minutes, and without a fee. Start at home. Open the confirmation email or your booking page and read every line. Look for the words marketing carrier, operated by, or the flight code format like AA1234/BA4321. The first airline code is usually the seller, the second is the operator. Check the operating carrier's baggage allowance and check-in rules, not the one you bought from. If the ticket says operated by X Airlines, download X Airlines app or save their web check-in link. Add the operating carrier's record locator to your notes. Sometimes the marketing carrier's booking number won't work at the desk that actually handles the airplane. Before you leave for the airport, check the real-time flight status on both the marketing airline and the operating airline websites or apps. Use the plane's flight number from the operating carrier and the route. If you have connections, verify the minimum connection time the operating carrier guarantees. Alliances sometimes protect you, discount sites sometimes don't. If your itinerary includes separate tickets sold independently, you need extra buffer. A missed connection on separate tickets is your responsibility unless you bought protected multi-ticket coverage. At the airport, your first stop should be the airline counter or kiosk for the operating carrier, not necessarily the airline name on your credit card statement. The operating carrier's check-in agent can tag your bags through to the final destination. An agent at the marketing carrier's desk sometimes can't. When you see different flight numbers on the gate display, don't assume the gate is wrong. Read the route and the operated by line. Say aloud to the agent, I'm on ticket X, operated by Y. Are my bags checked through? If you need assistance, ask to speak to the operating carrier's desk. Why do airlines do this? Think of Codeshares like a grocery store stocking another brand's product under a label. The marketing airline sells you a seat on their website and uses the partner airline to operate the airplane. It's not unlike a local coffee shop selling a bakery's croissants with the shop's sticker on the box. The airplane, crew, aircraft number, and baggage rules come from the operator, not the seller. That everyday analogy explains why the logo on the nose matters less than the operated by line on your boarding pass. Here's the real cost and risk picture, so you can decide how to act. If you ignore the operator's baggage allowance, you can face gate fees or carry-on confiscation that range from $30 to $150 for oversized carry-ons, or $50 to $200 for checked bags depending on route and airline. If you go to the wrong check-in counter and miss check-in close, rebooking on the next seat can cost $150, $600, or more on short notice. And if you booked separate tickets, you might be responsible for an entire new one-way fare, which can run $300, $1,200. Worst case, no through-checked bag, overnight delay, and out-of-pocket hotel and rebooking costs. Most common risk, though, is confusing gate agents and a 10 to 30-minute delay fixing the record. Not catastrophic, but annoying. So what's the cheapest, safest, and most practical solution? First, at booking, prefer itineraries where the operating carrier is the same as the seller for international trips or if you have checked bags. If you can't, add extra time between connections. Second, copy the operating carrier's PNR, booking reference, into your phone and download that airline's app. Third, at the airport, always check in with the operating carrier's desk and verify your baggage routing. Fourth, arrive early. 90 minutes domestic for shared code shares is safer than 60 if you suspect confusion. Many useful links can be found in the description.
A specific trick to watch out for. Some third-party booking sites advertise a low price with the marketing carrier prominent and bury the "operated by" line in the itinerary details. They'll show a cheap flight with a familiar brand, but the operator charges higher baggage fees or different seat assignments. That's the misleading claim. The site headline implies one airline's product but delivers another airline's policies at the gate. How to refuse it. If you see a different operating carrier on the final itinerary, call the booking site and ask for an explicit match or a name-your-price refund. If they won't fix it, cancel within any free cancellation window or rebook directly with the operating airline. Always check the fare rules. Some discount fares are non-refundable or charge steep change fees. Here's a short checklist you can use on your phone before you walk out the door. 1. Confirm the operating carrier name and flight number. 2. Save the operating carrier's PNR and download their app. 3. Check baggage allowance on the operator, not the seller. 4. Verify check-in cutoff times with the operator. 5. If you have a connection, confirm booking protection between the two carriers. If the seller says "same alliance," that helps, but don't rely on it without verifying facts. A quick, real example. I once booked a domestic flight through Airline A's website for convenience. On the day of travel, the gate screen listed Airline B, and my boarding pass had Airline B's logo with "Operated by Airline B." I almost queued at Airline A's counter out of habit. Instead, I went to Airline B's counter. The agent checked my bag through, and I boarded with no stress. Another friend, in a different case, assumed baggage rules from Airline A and arrived with an oversized carry-on. The operator charged a gate fee of $120. Those 2 minutes of checking the operator would have saved the fee. If you're at the airport and you see a different flight number mid-trip, stay calm and follow these practical steps. Find an agent from the operator, show both your ticket and the confirmation email. Ask explicitly, "Are my bags checked through?" And if they're not, request interline tagging. If the agent says no, ask for written confirmation why not. That helps if you need to file a claim later. Hidden upsell to avoid. At some kiosks, you'll be offered an automatic rebook or flex upgrade sold by the marketing airline that sounds protective. Sometimes it only applies to that seller's rebooking system and not the operating carrier's policies. Don't buy protection without confirming it covers the operator's flight. Also, the booking site trick of showing a large brand name carrier in search results but hiding the operator in the details costs people time and money. Always expand the full fare rules and scroll to
operated by. Final practical tip: if you're anxious about safety, Codeshares don't change the aircraft maintenance rules. The operator is responsible for safety, and the operating carrier's registry and safety record matter more than the seller's logo. If you want complete control, book directly with the airline that operates the plane. It costs a little time, but it removes the surprise. If this helped you feel less uncertain, click subscribe and like. I post clear, practical travel fixes for people who don't fly all the time. If you have a picture of a boarding pass or a gate display that confused you, drop it in the comments and I'll explain what it means.